And tonight we are getting reactions from physicians on the front lines of the COVID fight. Dr. Shad Marvasti and Dr. Andrew Carroll, they've been very outspoken about how Arizona has been handling the coronavirus pandemic. So I'd like from both of you just to get your initial reactions to the governor's order. Dr. Marvasti, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's premature. I guess not completely unexpected given the reactions that we've seen in terms of not using what worked in the summer when we were at the height of the crisis in the winter surge. But disappointing nonetheless.
Dr. Carroll?
I think we've had poor decision making from the beginning, which is why our per capita rate was the world's highest at one point. I think this very premature move to being fully open is exactly that, extremely premature.
Yeah. Dr. Carroll, let's continue. What do you think is going to happen in our hospitals as a result of this decision?
Well, we still have folks in the ICU. In the hospital that I was covering, the majority of the patients that were still there for COVID were in the ICU. The last thing we need is for the ERs to get crowded again, for us to have to admit people because they can't keep their oxygen levels up. And it's just going to overwhelm the system once again at a time we could barely afford to.
Dr. Marvasti?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's really, a gamble that we're taking that we don't have to take, because at this point, we don't have enough folks vaccinated. We don't know how long the immunity from the virus will last for those who have been infected and recovered. And it's really too early to start packing people into venues that are indoors with poor ventilation, because it's really just kind of asking for trouble. And we've already seen, as Dr. Carroll mentioned, what that has led to at least twice. And so, we don't want to be a 3 strikes you're out kind of situation.
Yeah. Dr. Marvasti, let me follow up on that and say, when would you think it would be appropriate to sort of ease back on some of these mitigation efforts that we've been doing?
Well, I think there's a number of factors to consider. One is going to be percentage of folks who are actually vaccinated. So I think we need to be I would say at least above 50% of the population, if not more, vaccinated. Then we need to have more understanding of what that actually means in terms of immunity. How long does that last? We also have to see what happens with the variants. We don't know if variants will come about. Again, by having more spread, we're going to have more mutations and more variants. And there could be a variant which is actually resistant to the vaccine. So these are some of the factors that are at play. And so I think it's variable. It could be as early as at the end of the summer, or it could be as late as the end of the year, or longer, again, depending on how these things play out. So we want to do the best we can to minimize the harm, minimize the risk, and save lives. And jumping the gun like we're doing right now is not the wisest decision.
Yeah, Dr. Carroll, I see you kind of nodding along there.
Yeah, I continue to express caution to everybody. And, it's really great that we have a really robust vaccination program. We still don't have enough. I requested 600 doses of Moderna for the next week, and the county was only able to give me 200. So obviously we don't have as much vaccine as we need and could use, and we're just not there yet. We know herd immunity happens at that 70% level and greater. Even higher would be better. The concern I have is with the variants, as Dr. Shad mentioned, is if we're all immunized and a variant comes into town and starts to infect us, and maybe our symptoms aren't as bad, maybe we think it's just a cold, yet here we are transmitting the disease once again, and it just starts to spread before a booster is available. This is just the wrong time. Give it a few more months and we'll be there, really.
Yeah, a lot we still don't know. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate their insight.